How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Before we start this video, I just want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for your amazing support as the 2010s decade is coming to an end. 2020 is only a couple days away. I wish all you guys happy holidays. Over the last 10 years, there's been many memorable NBA moments, whether it's from superstars like LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Stephen Curry, or Kevin Durant, whether it's a crazy playoff comeback, crazy stuff that happened in free agency, or records being broken. With that said, here are 10 of the most defining moments in the NBA in the 2010s decade. Number 10, Linsanity takes over New York City. An undrafted unknown player who was overlooked early in his career only came when the team claimed him off waivers to be the backup point guard behind Tony Douglas and Mike Bibby. With veteran point guard Baron Davis also injured, Lin was essentially the fourth point guard in the depth chart as the 12th to 15th guy on the roster. Fearful of being cut at any time, the team considered releasing him. The Knicks were playing terrible basketball and all the guards failed to run Mike D'Antoni's offense. At the time, Lin was staying at Landry Fields' place, slept on his couch. On February 4th, 2012, the unexpected happened against the New Jersey Nets. Lin went off on Darren Williams, finished with 25 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists in a 99-92 win. It was Carmelo who suggested to D'Antoni at halftime Lin should play more in the second half. With Melo and Amari out the next couple games, Lin went bananas, captured the attention and imaginations of New Yorkers and basketball fans unlike anything we have ever seen. Long story short, some of my family members who barely speaks English, doesn't watch cable TV at all, decided they wanted to order cable just to watch Jeremy Lin play. People in New York City Chinatown made sure to tune in every time the Knicks play, even though some of them don't know anything about the NBA. 6 nights after the Nets game, Lin dropped 38 against the Lakers, outscored Kobe Bryant in the win. 4 nights after that, Lin hit the game-winning 3 against the Raptors in Toronto. That was absolute peak Linsanity at its finest. A time when Carmelo Anthony did not dominate the back pages of the New York newspaper for weeks. Many celebrities were in awe of Lin by his performance. During the 11-game span, Lin averaged 24 points, over 9 assists, 2.5 steals on 50% shooting. Linsanity was pretty much over by the middle of March, where he hurt his knee and had to undergo surgery, but it ignited the fan base like no other Knicks player since the 90s. Being on top of the Big Apple, New York just let him walk in free agency. Houston signed him. After that, a lot of my family members were angry at the Knicks and didn't bother watching them again. Linsanity was a time basketball fans will forever cherish, especially the Asian community. Number 9, Donald Sterling banned from the NBA. The former disgraced Clipper owner made national headlines when the disgusting tapes hit the airwaves late April 2014, where the LA real estate mogul who brought the team in 1981 for $12.5 million was a racist. After his ex-mistress released audio of him voicing his displeasure, Sterling quoted, "It bothers me a lot that you want to broadcast that you're associating with black people. Do you have to? You can sleep with them. You can bring them in. You can do whatever you want. The little I ask you is not to promote it on that and not to bring them to my games. Don't put Magic Johnson on an Instagram for the world to have to see, so they have to call me, and don't bring him to my games." Arguably the worst run NBA franchise during his tenure, Sterling was forced to sell the team for $2 billion to Steve Ballmer. Banned for life by Adam Silver, many former Clipper players had uncomfortable encounters with Sterling in the past. It was unfortunate he was in his position for that long of a time. Number 8, Derrick Rose tearing his ACL in 2012. The 23-year-old was in position to contend for a championship, becoming the youngest MVP the year before. His career, life, the Chicago Bulls, and the whole NBA would change forever that game. April 28, 2012, Game 1 against Philly. At the 120 mark of the fourth quarter, the Bulls have already won the game. A brutal way to go out. A promising Bulls team went from legit contenders to just an okay playoff team. After Rose was hurt, as one of the most exciting and explosive players in the league at the time, he might have won a championship given his youth and perhaps become one of the best players of the decade. A tragic, devastating moment to a young and promising superstar talent. Rose was never quite the same since, was on the verge of being out the league in 2018 until his inspirational 50-point performance with Minnesota, continuing to perform at a high level after all the injuries robbed him of his prime years, changed his game, and still had plenty of basketball left. Utmost respect to D Rose after all the difficulty he went through, giving everything he's got to the game still. Number 7, Ray Allen's Game 6 3-point shot in 2013, arguably the best game of the decade, filled with extreme intensity. San Antonio was up 10 to start the fourth. Miami rallied back, took the lead at the halfway point. The momentum of the game shifted back and forth. Spurs down 3, Parker nailed the 3 with a minute 27 left. After a Mario Chalmers turnover, Parker leaning jumper puts the Spurs up 2 with 58 seconds left. LeBron turnover, Ginobili 2 free throws, Spurs up 4. LeBron another turnover. Miami looked like they were self-destructing in the final minutes, but Ginobili missed the first free throw. Spurs up 5, LeBron bricks a 3. 3 Spurs had a hand on the ball, but it was picked up by Mike Miller. James hit the second 3. Remember, Tim Duncan surprisingly wasn't in the game on defense. A huge mistake by Popovich. 21-year-old Kawhi Leonard was fouled, missed the first free throw. Still one possession game. Chalmers hands it to LeBron. Left wing 3 misses. Chris Bosh, the biggest rebound of his career, kicks it out to Ray Allen. Splash! The most clutch under pressure shot I have ever seen. If Allen hadn't hit that shot, a lot of things would have changed historically alongside the players' careers, which means Miami's big 3 likely only would have won 1 championship together. LeBron 2 and 7 instead of being 3 and 6 in the finals. Tim Duncan would have likely won his 4th finals MVP, maybe ties Michael Jordan with 6 rings if he repeated. Maybe Kawhi Leonard would have had 3 MVPs before turning 28 years old. Greg Popovich might have had 6 titles, putting him ahead of Pat Riley. If Jesus Shuttlesworth did nail that corner trade, a lot of legacies would have been different. Chris Bosh made huge defensive plays in overtime, blocked Tony Parker's shot. Ginobili loses the ball in the final seconds, but a questionable non-call. Whether Ray Allen got him across the arm or not, you decide. Bosh then blocked Danny Green's 3 at the buzzer. Miami won 103-100. A bizarre, wild ending, a game that will always be remembered in NBA history. Number 6, the summer of 2019. With the player movement era, it was one of the most anticipated free agencies ever. Before the 2018-19 regular season started, there were already speculations. Most analysts on ESPN, FS1, all the media platforms spend more time talking about free agency instead of the actual season itself. People spend way more time talking about where Kawhi Leonard was going to go instead of his performance with the Raptors. Everyone basically assumed Golden State was just going to three-peat, but in a matter of hours when free agency started, the league went from having a solo powerhouse in Golden State to a balanced duo league, with KD and Kyrie taking their talents to Brooklyn. The Kawhi Leonard speculation left the NBA world in panic. A lot of fake sources tried to make us believe he was going to sign with the Lakers, but instead signed with the Clippers, announced after 2 in the morning Eastern time, followed by an absolute stunner where the Clippers were also trading for Paul George. Nobody saw that coming. A summer of disbelief. Many other superstars and all-stars went to different teams as well. Number 5, Kobe Bryant's final game, April 13, 2016. You couldn't write a more perfect Hollywood script than Bryant's farewell game. The same night Golden State broke the record for most wins in the regular season, the entire focus was on the 17-win Laker team playing the Utah Jazz, which was on ESPN2 instead of ESPN. The disrespect to Kobe Bryant. I watched 0 minutes of that Golden State game and couldn't care less. One of the greatest players all time went out on his own terms after struggling with a pile of injuries and fodder time throughout the season. His whole body was breaking down. In the most Kobe game ever, the Mamba put up 50 shots, led his team to a comeback, down double digits with just over 3 minutes left. Kobe absolutely took over, gave us a last taste of his greatness, and reminded us how he closed out games throughout his career, drained a clutch jumper to give LA the lead with half a minute left, a 60-point performance, one of the greatest endings to an unbelievable career, a special night greeted with love, an explanation point, just an amazing way to go out. What a moment in NBA history that will always be remembered forever. Number 4, the 3-point revolution. Thanks in large to Stephen Curry, the game of basketball has changed forever, not only in the NBA, but around the world. Looking back in NBA history, the game was dominated by big men down low and guards who excel at the mid-range game. The 3-point line is now 40 years old and wasn't utilized to its fullest until the mid-2010s. The game used to be more physical. It was rare to see teams scoring over 100 points in the 90s and mid-2000s, but in the 2018-19 season, teams averaged 932 3-pointers made, almost doubling the entire 2000s decade of 527. Now James Harden shoots almost 14 threes a game, more than some teams per game in the 2000s. 3-point records are being broken like nothing now with the emergence of analytics. Players are jacking up 30-footers and some guys are draining it like nothing. Many big men have also changed their game and shoot threes, otherwise they won't be successful in today's NBA. Not many guys post up anymore. Teams were attempting only 18 threes a game on average average 10 years ago. Even 5 years ago, teams averaged 22.4 threes, and now, this season, over 33 threes attempted, a huge increase. The mid-range game is considered a lost art form. Even when a team's down 1 in the final seconds, many players still rather shoot a 3 when they don't have to, especially in transition 2-on-1 or 3-on-2 breaks. Instead of taking it to the hole for an easy 2, many guys shoot the 3. That bothers me the most when the shots don't go in. Number 3, the Cavs 3-1 comeback against the 73-9 Warriors 2016 finals. With so much at stake, no team previously has come back down 3-1 in the finals before. LeBron's looking to bring the city of Cleveland its first title in franchise history, a 52-year professional sports drought. Golden State would have solidified themselves as the greatest team all time, looking for his 89th win of the season. Steph Curry was looking to complete a perfect ending to a unanimous MVP year. The best player crown was still up for grabs. After Curry's 38-point performance in Game 4, James went bananas, dropping 41 in Games 5 and 6. Kyrie dominated Curry. Game 7 was as intense a game as you'll see. With many misses the last 4 minutes, James had the iconic chase down block, Irving shot, and Kevin Love stop. A historic ending where Festus Ezeli was absolutely atrocious in Game 7. Hasn't played an NBA game since, in case you guys have forgotten about him. If Golden State would have won and Draymond wasn't suspended, nobody knows where Kevin Durant would end up, which leads us to number 2, Kevin Durant joining the Warriors. Just like how the rich get richer, a super team became a super duper team. Announcing his decision in the Players Tribune, the basketball world literally ended. Twitter exploded like fireworks on the 4th of July. After it was official, everyone knew who was gonna win the title. Bearing injury, only a dumb person would not have picked a healthy Warriors team to win it all. 4 All-Stars in their primes, unlike anything we ever seen. After being heavily criticized and all of the sudden, the most hated player in the NBA by far, Durant shined when it matters most. Winning back-to-back finals MVPs, was the best player on the court in the 2 NBA finals, forming one of the best teams all time. If it wasn't for his injury in 2019, there was no question Golden State would have beaten Toronto in the finals. KD likely would have won his 3rd finals MVP. Number 1, the decision 2010. On the evening of July 8, 2010, the whole world was waiting for LeBron's announcement on television. Not knowing where he was gonna go, looking back, James transformed the league's landscape, entering the prime of his career as the face of the league. After he said he will take his talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat, there were mixed emotions, breaking the hearts of everyone in Northeast Ohio. Teams like the Knicks and Nets were dumping players left and right so they can find money to offer James a contract. By choosing to go to Miami, LeBron showed that players can control the balance of power, not the front offices. Forming a super team according to plan, discussing it with other players before his decision, the result was 2 championships in 4 seasons with Miami. If James never left, there was no guaranteed he would have won a title in Cleveland between 2011 to 2014. Not a knock on LeBron, but Cleveland's not an easy place to attract good free agents. Before James left Cleveland, he was widely respected and admired, then became the most hated athlete on the planet, became a good guy again coming back to Cleveland, but the damage to his image viewed by some still remains a stain to his legacy where he can't fully shake off. Nowadays, superstars around the leagues teaming up with one another, tampering, championship chasing, and forming super teams have become very mainstream in the NBA, thanks in large to James's decision in 2010, which paved the way for future super teams like Kevin Durant joining Golden State 6 years later. In summer 2018, James declined his player option, was an unrestricted free agent for the 3rd time in his career, symbolizing the freedom players have and how movement can affect the league. Players today have also signed shorter contracts and have the upper hand, making it easier to join whichever team they prefer, playing with whoever they want. Thank you so much for watching this video. For my next free potential giveaway on December 29, 2019, if the Mavs beat the Lakers in Staples Center, the first person to DM me the final score of the game, if the Mavs win, will win a free Luka Doncic jersey. Once again, the first person to DM me the final score, if Dallas beats the Lakers, will win a free Luka Doncic jersey. If you DM me before the game's over, that doesn't count. You have to DM me the final score and Dallas has to win. So best of luck to each and every one of you. Thanks so much for watching again. I love all of you. Happy holidays. See you next time.